No, go ahead.
Hey, just through 10 games this season, what has Josh Heupel meant to this team?
He's just been energy giver to us. He's just always high energy every day, positive, always telling us we're in a race against ourselves to be the best. And he's just always been there for us as a coach, and he's just always pushing us to be better every day.
Omari, Coach Banks has been nominated for the Frank Rawls Award that goes to the nation's top assistant coach. Just talk about the job you think he's done with this defense.
Coach Banks, he's done a great job, and we're just going to keep getting better. He's done a great job of installing this defense, just telling us what he wants out of us when we were playing on the defense. And he's done a great job, and he's just an awesome dude, awesome coach.
Mark, how did you personally grade out in the Georgia game?
I did okay. It was still some good plays, some bad plays. I did decent, but it's just got to keep getting better every week, and that's what we're doing this week.
Omari, kind of following up on talking about Coach Banks, you guys are improved a lot in a lot of statistical categories from last season. Just why do you think that's been the case, given some of the guys that left and some of the things y'all had to go through this year?
I think just it's us just wanting to be here, and the coaches pushing us every day, no matter what we're doing. They're always on us about being the best, just locked in on the small details, just focusing up on just the little things, and that's why I think it's really helped us. And then I think that's one of the big things that, like I said, the coaches have really just pushed us on, just being locked in on the small details.
You look back at the early games, Bowling Green game, and look at what the scheme was then and what the scheme is now. How different or how much week-to-week adjustments have there been in the scheme?
Well, I mean, there's always going to be adjustments depending on the type of offense that you're playing against. But we try to keep our system the same, and we try to make teams adjust to what we do because we want to be the hammer and not the nail. So I think that's one thing that our coaches have really instilled in us, that we're going to play our brand of football and not cope to somebody else's brand.
I know you've learned a lot from Rodney Garner this year, but watching the upperclassmen, Matthew Butler, Jaquan Blakely, kind of how have you learned from them, just leading by example for them?
Just the way they approach every day. They approach every day as like pros. They come in ready to work every day with positive mindsets, and just when you come into a building like that, you have no choice but to pick up on that energy and just to keep going with it. And that's why I think both of those guys have really did for this year and have going to continue to do this year.
Back to Jimmy.
Omar, the final score against Georgia and Alabama is a little bit one-sided, but I do wonder, do you think that this program is catching up to Alabama and Georgia?
I feel like this program is showing that we're going to head in the right direction, and we're just having a positive mindset on this year. We don't really allow the score to define us as a team, and we're just going to keep working, and we're showing that we're capable of being in those games. And once we just really get over that hump, I think it'll be very interesting to see how things play out.
Mark, I know it's one game at a time, but how much motivation is getting to a bowl game and maybe improving the type of bowl that you can get to by finishing strong in these last two games?
Well, I mean, we're not, as of right now, we are not bowl eligible as a team, so we still have to take it week by week and just focus on the next game, which is South Alabama, and that's what we're doing. And I mean, we just focus on the next game, really. We can't look too far past these next two teams upcoming, and we look towards the bowl game. Obviously, that's a goal of this team, and we want to get there, but we have to focus on the games that we have approaching these next 2 weeks, especially this week.
You busted up a play there in the backfield the other night. What did you see on that TFL kind of from the get-go?
Just I saw, based on my alignment, I saw where the back aligned, it was away from me. And that's one thing Coach G always talks to us about, just align to be the best. And then it's just when you get a play like that, the play was, I just played vertical really, and then it just happens to be there for me. And I think it was a big play for us as a team.
Omari, as y'all are sort of watching film week to week or watching film from the games you just played, I should say, how frustrating is it to watch how many times the quarterback kind of leaks out of there on third down, gets out of the pocket, moves the sticks. I mean, I know quarterbacks are athletes too, and they can run and make plays, but how frustrating is it, and what are y'all trying to do to sort of get that corrected?
Well, it's very frustrating, but we know we have our assignments, and we know we have to just be able to lock in on those small details a little more. Like if you got contained, make sure you got contained. If you got drop back, make sure you got drop back. Just little things that we know as a defense that we have to get done, and it's just the coaches constantly instilling us every week that we have to make sure we get that done, no matter who we're playing, because that's been something that we haven't really done well this year, and it's just been something that we're going to continue to work and get better at.
Omari, I know when you've talked to us before this year, you've stressed the importance of playing with lower pad level, and Coach G's talked about that as well. Do you feel like you've reached the point now to where you're not even thinking about it and you're just playing with lower pad level?
It's definitely something that, for me personally, I just always still think about, just because I just want to make sure I'm on top of that one thing, because it's been something I've always struggled with playing sports, well, football. But, yeah, I always think about it still. No matter if I'm getting down in my stands, it's just hands to pad level. That's something that just goes through my mind before every play. And I think that that's something Coach G has really instilled in me, to think that way, like hands, pad level. And I think I'll do that before every snap, to just stay focused on that.
Omari, what impresses you about South Alabama's offense?
I think their offense, who they try to motion a lot. They try to get you off keys and just so they can bust big plays. And they are physical up front, and we just have to make sure we're the most physical team, and we have to make sure that we keep our eyes on the right keys, because they like to motion and shift a lot, and that's something that we have been working on at practice and we'll continue to work on throughout the week.
Omari, now that basketball started, you've been locked in on what Kennedy's doing across the street, and these first couple of games, have they surprised you any, what he's doing?
No, this hasn't surprised me at all. Like Kennedy, he's a good player. He's just going to keep doing his thing, and like we talk all the time, he's supporting me, I'm supporting him. And he tell me some things that, like, if he see me lacking or something like that, he tell me I'll pick it up. And it's the same thing if I see him doing something like that. It's just we have that type of relationship. We're best friends, and it's just I'm proud of him. I'm happy for everything that he's doing.
Omar, y'all, once SEC play obviously gets here, y'all play big games pretty much every week, and you're playing a lot of top 5, top 10, top 25 teams. This week, playing South Alabama, how do you make sure to stay sharp as a team? Maybe not just you yourself, but as a team, how do you make sure that y'all are kind of keeping each other accountable and keeping focused and all that?
Well, we're big on playing for these seniors this year. We want these seniors to go out with a bang, and it's the last night game at Neyland, so that's pretty fun there. And it's just a lot of energy into it, and we know we have to bring the juice. Other games it's been juicy to build up for it, but we know we have to be the ones who create that atmosphere, and we're going to create that atmosphere, and we just have to be ready, and we'll approach the game like any other week.